Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Four Issue 17, 2022. That is a crazy looking cover and deals with the story of what we're doing right here, of some very strange remains being found in the Fantastic Four being asked to investigate. So, we pretty much get a lowdown on what's pretty much happening around this kind of time period around these remains that are found. Around 20,000 years ago, give or take, the last glacial maximum, about like the Stone Age humans first crossing the Bering Land Bridge and settling into the Americas. Let's see. And of course, there were very few, these were the very first peoples of America, and they're the ones from which, before catastrophic European contact in the 1400s, just about everyone who lived here was descended. And what this find seems to tell us is that somewhere along the way, one of these individuals died violently, and these remains are all that's left behind. And Ben, of course, is describing what's kind of going on to Alicia. And Johnny's like, I know you're thrilled that somebody's like, hey, you put your name on the archaeological list, and it's like, okay, what's kind of us about it? It's like, it's not the correct type. It's European, not Asian. So my question for you is this: how does a European end up dead in prehistoric Arizona anywhere from 15 to 20 millennia ahead of schedule? It's like, that's interesting. And then we find out a little bit more. They died violently, and that they had some material underneath, and Reed's like, why would you bring us into this? I mean, granted, it's kind of fascinating for him, but then we see that the original fabric was blue, and they're unstable molecules, and that Reed made them. Yep, that's why I called you here. So, what? One of the Fantastic Four is going to die here thousands of years ago? Do you know who? Unfortunately, there's no DNA here, but with a limited set of candidates, there's one test we can do. We can compare these bones to our own bodies with your permission. Ben, go for it. And then we see the great art of seeing them as their bones, and seeing Ben is very kind of cool. It's like, wow, okay, interesting to see his kind of bone structure and everything. And then we see that they don't fit for them, but they're a fit for Sue. And they're like, what's going on? And then we get the explanation, which works interestingly. It's like, okay, why didn't they, remember this? Arizona, some 16,000 years ago. Welcome to the Pleistocene. Welcome to the Pleistocene, Reed Richards. And honey, happy anniversary. Those are megafauna, all extinct after human contact. Is that Panthera atrox? American lion, yep. And that's Mammothus primigenus, one of the final species of woolly mammoth. Thought you'd like it. And, of course, they're kind of geeking out and having a cute little time there. And they came at this time when human civilization in the part of the world is about to begin, as we see them kind of coming in. But we see some crazy-ass shit crack off, as they're, of course, invisible. Then this fucking shit pops up, and we get Rama Tut popping up. It's like, what the fuck? I believe this is the version of him who escaped immediately after our first encounter all those years ago. He was less experienced time traveler then, not yet calling himself King the Conqueror. He was merely, behold, paleo-humans, behold the man who ends your future, behold the greatness of Rama Tut. And that's just prime supervillain shit right there. I love it. And then he's going after him, but Sue's able to kind of block his blaster shots. It's like, what the fuck? So, of course, they take him off. We can't let you destroy history, plus murder is unethical. So, 2 reasons. Now, let's get us all nice and distant from those humans who belong here and have a conversation someplace where we can avoid contaminating the timeline any further, shall we? You, it is you, it's not possible! As they're talking about, Fantastic Four issue 19 and how that kind of lined up. And then he's talking about how he saw his own future, that he was being foiled again and again. So he decided to contemplate going and pretty much killing them in their crib. Pretty much making such a kind of shot work to killing history. Trillions won't be born. And reads like, Ramatut, please, listener, this is dropping a nuclear warhead to kill a fly. It's like, yes, because some assholes are that fucking stupid and that fucking petty and vindictive to drop a nuclear warhead on a fly. And of course, he's belittling her and everything like that. You can't stop me. Oh, that's Dr. Invisible Woman to you. It's like, yep, yeah, dumb bastard. And he's got weapons to defend himself, so he starts utilizing his helmet and everything. They are able to get him away, but then they start getting beset upon themselves by all these different Ramatuts that start popping out of everything. Every time you can't beat me, Richards. Every time you do, that alternate self you defeated simply travels back to this moment and ensures that I win. It's like, ah, shit. So, this is a pretty hairy situation of trying to figure out how to stop. And I love seeing... I really like the colors that they were able to use with Ramatut. It really does a nice kind of... different kind of color change. And also you see all the different ones kind of popping off. It's like, alright, how do you beat a time traveler? You don't. You're wrong. There is a way to beat a time traveler, Ramatut. What, with that primitive time platform? Ha! Incredible. You think there's some place you can hide from me? So they kind of back off, and then they come back, and reads like, this ends now. He's like, what, a gun? Ha! Yes, Ramatut. We traveled back to the Baxter building from your own time, where we invented this weapon and returned here. It is no ordinary weapon. You're staring down the barrel of the temporal recoupler. When fired against normal people, its rays are harmless, but against a time traveler, it recouples their flesh to the local time frame by taking the long way around, Ramatut. Inside its opaque dispersion field, your body ages millennia in a femtosecond. It's instant death. The only way to beat a time traveler is like, fuck. That sucks. Telling him goodbye. But then he's like, it goes click, and he's like, you wouldn't think I'd be able to figure that out? All you accomplished with your little speech was to give me enough information to know precisely when to sabotage this weapon in the future. My time machine sent me there and returned me here in the same instant, and in the same position so quickly that it's impossible for you to have noticed me leave. It's like, yeah. I gotta say, this kind of follows some JoJo Bizarre Adventures kind of thing of like, no, it was me, Dio kind of shit. But that's usually how this kind of stuff works. I love how it's able to emulate that time period and work very well with it. So, of course, he does it and fixes the gun and fires it upon Sue and Reed. And we think that they are dead, and we see their bones fall. And Rama believes it as well. He kind of blitzes one of them with his helmet. But perhaps this is a trick, eh? Turning your flesh invisible in a futile attempt to fool the great Ramatut. On the other hand, perhaps not. Goodbye, Mr. Fantastic. Goodbye, Invisible Girl. You are an irritating distraction, therefore paid the price that all who infuriate me must. Then he just leaves. Then we still see that their platform is still there. It's like, what? Let me see the Baxter Building, New York, 4 years from now. Yeah, we have one shot, darling. If we can build a temporal recoupler before Ramatut finds us, then we can save the past. I'm with you, honey. And we see them talking like this, but we learn that they've actually been utilizing Braille, where she would send invisible force fields with the Braille so that Reed could read them. And he was able to do the same Braille bumps on his hand as they were able to kind of do that, so that way they could talk, so nobody can actually surveil them that way. Which is actually pretty fucking cool. To me. I mean, that's kind of awesome. As Reed and Sue build their weapon at the top of the tower, the Fantastic Four's remarkable 3D replicators began working in a darkened basement far below. It looks like a clean cycle, but thanks to Susan, they're actually invisibly printing flesh and bone. When Reed and Sue finalize their weapon and return to their platform, Sue carries these two artificial cadavers with her, dressed in equally invisible uniforms. And 16,000 years ago, when Ramatut fires at Sue and Reed, he hits only the two bodies invisibly held in front of them. And while in the same instant, Sue hides herself and her husband from view. There will come a time when Ramatut realizes they survived, but he won't know how. He'll never be able to see when. He'll be left guessing that they're temporal duplicates, possibly variants from another timeline. The secret isn't in what Sue and Reed said. It's in what they wrote right in front of him, pressed invisibly into each other's fingertips. How do you beat a time traveler? You let him think he's won. And that's fucking... That's cool. I like that kind of thinking and everything. So we get to Arizona today. So what? Do we go back to the past now to prevent you from dying, or do we avoid that era entirely, knowing what's waiting for you? Wait, could that create a time paradox or read? Are we good? We're good, right? And then we see that she's able to feel the kind of braille and figure out kind of what's going on. And she's like, nope, we're good. And even Reed figures it out as well. It's like, okay, they get a knowing look together, which is pretty kind of cool. Because we see that the others are there as well, closing the loop and everything. And then Johnny's like, what, are time cops going to arrest us or whatnot? He's like, wait, am I a time cop? Could you tell me if I turn into a future cop, time cop in the future? No, wait, don't say anything. I want it to be a surprise. Can you at least tell me if I ever team up with a kickboxer? It's like, Johnny. So, I kind of like this one because it was a kind of weird one-off, but it gave us depth of insight to Reed and Sue's relationship, Rama Tut being a complete asshole, and just a really effective use of Rama Tut. I like when the different kind of Kang variants are used and they don't feel like Kang, but Egyptian pharaoh asshole dude. This one feels like a different kind of character being like, what the fuck's going on? And then being stymied. And I love the kind of thing of like, how do you beat a time traveler? You can make them think they want. And that's the main kind of tactic that you could pretty much utilize for any kind of person. But it's in how you make them think they want. It's got to be executed perfectly. And this was. And I just really liked it. I like the different kind of character designs of past Reed and Sue versus present Reed and Sue. I liked how it was linked up with the era of the humans coming to the Americas. I love what this book is doing with those different kind of things and tying them all together and making it so that you learn new kind of things along the way. I learned a lot of different kind of science stuff, a different kind of history stuff and everything. I just really like that you're able to do that in a book like this. And having great art and just a great story just really sells it. And I've just really been enjoying this, and I can't wait to see where it goes next. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.